I've built 7 custom closets from a total DIY budget build to a glamorous rainbow closet. And you can too.
She's from New York and now in Palm Springs. Wow. Watch Courtney build the colorful world of her dreams. And color me spaces, color me spaces.
Welcome back to Color Me Spaces, where we renovate each room in my house by color, except for today. I'll be back next week with another room makeover, but today I wanted to tackle your request and take you on a trip through closets past, while we break down every single custom closet build I've ever done. And there are 7. And I'll be sharing a secret for you about my next series that lets you shop my closet. So make sure you watch the whole thing. So before I moved to New York and before I ever became Color Me Courtney, I was just a girl who never fit in growing up in boring beige suburbia. I would escape by playing dress up, blasting Barbie music, watching Hannah Montana, and later Sex and the City and Gossip Girl. Always dreaming of a big life in New York City and an even bigger closet. I didn't love college, I wasn't a partier, and I found myself really bored and lonely, so I decided to start hosting fun themed dinner parties. I did one a month to celebrate movie premieres, current events, or sometimes just for fun. My grandma kept giving me recipes, and so she wanted to see photos from the event, and I decided to put them up on a blog. At the time, it was called Courtney's Closet, and this little series was called Hopeless Hostess. And I still love an alliteration even to this day. I filled my weekends with trips to Goodwill and treasure hunting at other thrift stores, looking for fabulous finds I otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. Oh, and always window shopping at my favorite store at the time, Kate Spade. Kate Spade then was a little different than Kate Spade now. Much more fun, much more me, much more whimsy. I graduated from college in 2 years while studying for the GMAT with 3 big dreams: move to New York, get my MBA, and work at Kate Spade. But my dream school in New York rejected me, so I rerouted to San Francisco. I rented a small apartment with a Nook the previous tenant used as a nursery and decided to turn this into my custom closet. I brought my childhood dressers, added a few hooks, and put a few things on display. And that was kind of it, just working with the space I had. All of the furniture in this apartment was from Goodwill or from my childhood that I reworked with a fresh coat of paint, including this bed that also doubled as a clothing rack for me. I would hang my coats up there. I did my MBA for a year while saving up money and working at Kate Spade in the retail store. But this got me an employee discount, access to some gifted pieces. I even got to take some things home from the store, and I became the #1 Kate Spade seller in the country. In San Francisco, Color Me Courtney was born. My blog was supposed to be named something else, but that's another story. But now I was unable to host parties because I had no friends, so I started doing some self-timer shots on my roof. I was strongly influenced by Blair, who has now become a good friend of mine, and I found Keiko for the first time online, even though we wouldn't meet for years later. I wanted to give you an estimated total for the San Francisco closet, so this is kind of what I spent, even though it would cost you a lot more now. When I moved out of that apartment, the rent doubled immediately. And I love San Francisco, but my heart was set on New York. So I packed up, moved back home, got a tiny, ugly, dated house with this like weird office space that would become closet number 2. My childhood dressers got put to use again, and I styled the top of them with my growing collection of Kate Spade shoes, accessories, and gift boxes. So cute, right? I was very Kate Spade coded at the time. It was kind of my whole personality. I refurbished this vintage sofa that I got for $100 at Goodwill with some hot glue, paint, and a little bit of trim. And all my necklaces lived on a dress form. I made Kate Spade inspired wall art, painted some old suitcases, and added an over door rack for garment bags. This is a really good hack that anyone could do to pretty much any door. On the main wall, we installed some closet pieces from a hardware store that really anyone could do. And for reference, this is what a Kate Spade store looked like at the time, and this is my closet. A very budget version, but heavily inspired. And I feel like it worked, especially for the overall cost. Moving back to my home state instead of New York kind of felt like a step back, but this closet was a place where I felt truly inspired. I would read or work on the sofa here while Waffles would nap on my lap, and I have so many fond memories of it. I'm so glad I documented it. Reminder, always document your life. You're always gonna wanna have photos. And then we moved to New York, and I got a serious downsize for closet number 3. Moving to New York was hard for a lot of reasons. Let me know if you wanna know that story, but I finally found this tiny train style apartment with no oven and barely any closet. The closet that existed was so small that you couldn't even hang a normal hanger because it didn't actually fit. So I had to buy children's hangers to hang all my clothes. I stored my shoes in the kitchen, some accessories in the living room, and even installed some hanging bars in my bedroom to also use as a closet. The bars and the kids' hangers were really the only thing I actually had to spend money on because I found most of the furniture for this apartment on the street. I was working in the stockroom at one of my favorite brands to this day, Jonathan Adler, when I finally landed my dream job making handbags at Coach. Paris moved to New York, the friends who were living in my living room moved out, and we upgraded to a bigger place with an actual closet. Now that we're a few closets in, you might be wondering, why am I like this? Well, my closet origin story starts with my mom. My mom designed the house that I grew up in and gave me a really nice walk-in closet, thus ruining me for life. I would hide, study, play, cry, and even sometimes sleep in my closet because I loved it so much. She would also buy a lot of discounted Halloween costumes the day after Halloween to build me an epic dress-up closet, which is probably why I'm Color Me Courtney today. Thanks, Mom. Okay, back to New York. We're now in my second New York apartment to build my fourth custom closet. And for this one, we worked with Lowe's, which was a totally big deal to me at the time because I pitched to the brand directly and they said yes. But here's a budget breakdown of what it would cost if you bought it today. I love this closet, but it was the apartment from HE Double Hockey Sticks because so many things went wrong when we lived there. The front door fell off the hinge. It could lock, but you could have kicked it through. So when Paris was away, I would totally home alone the apartment, like putting furniture and marbles and all this stuff in case someone would break in. Not very safe, don't do that. We had a full 3 months where we didn't have a fridge, and then another 6 months where we had no gas from a gas line that blew down the street. This was also the same year that Waffles got paralyzed, left Coach to do Color Me Courtney full time, and another friend moved into our living room again. So there was a lot going on. So as soon as our lease ended, we ran a few streets over. We found this really weird, lofty layout with a large living room that would become closet number 5. Closet number 5. Best song ever. To break up the space, I decided to build a closet with these custom rainbow build-ins I got from a local company in New Jersey. This was the biggest investment I had ever made in a closet or any apartment yet. But truly, it was worth it. And if you're nosy and want to see every inch of this closet in detail, there's a full video for you on the channel. Having this much space made me buy more clothes and make a bigger mess. I would even hire an actor friend at the time to come help me clean my closet on busy weeks because I could never keep anything clean. Eventually, we outgrew this place and wanted something bigger with more room to shoot. So we found our current apartment and moved in on March 3rd. 2020. In this apartment, our second bedroom turned into a closet, but it had a weird layout with all these columns, so we decided to work around it to create something whimsical. We reconfigured my rainbow closets, added some rolling racks, a tool tiered wall, a shoe wall, some storage space, and more. I didn't have to spend much money here because I only added a few new things, but if you added up in total, it would have been my most expensive closet yet. And if you're still nosy, this closet also has a full tour on the channel. My mom was visiting us when we moved into this place and we didn't want to send her home in the middle of COVID, so she just stayed, eventually getting rid of her place and moving in here. But because we didn't pre-plan that, she's been living in my closet, Harry Potter style. Now that we have Cerulean and he's a little bit bigger, we're gonna have to turn this space into a real guest room / nursery that he can actually play in and my mom can comfortably live in. So that means it's probably time to downsize closet number 6, but that's a problem for future Courtney. And you already know the story for closet number 7. The custom build-in we did with California Closets here in Palm Springs was our most expensive and most professional closet yet. And there's a whole video on that closet too. But I want more. I still dream of having a big house with a whole room that I can dedicate to a closet office. One without columns, one without like weird children's hangers, just like a true, beautiful dream closet. Maybe even one day I'll build a custom home for my kids to grow up in and build myself a massive closet. But for now, I love all my DIY closets for different reasons, so let's give them some awards. The award for most creative closet goes to my first rainbow baby. And most polished closet has to be my current Palm Springs one. The most whimsy and probably the most me is my current chaotic one in New York City. And for the biggest heart with the smallest budget, we have to give it to that Kate Spade closet. Isn't she cute? So now that you've seen the 7 closets that house my rainbow wardrobe, it's time to address the elephant in the room. What's actually inside them? Starting soon, I'm gonna go through every single piece of clothing I own, every belt, every shoe, every accessory. And if you thought building the closets was a journey, just wait till you see all these try-ons from my archives. But that's not all. I need to get rid of like 85% of my items and give them directly to you. And all that's gonna happen in our next series. To get you excited, here's my fruit closet, which is gonna be kind of similar to what we're doing in this next series. Until then, I wanna know which closet would you want. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and come back next week where we tackle a new room and a new color here on
Color Me Spaces.
Okay, bye!